There has never been a point in history where gambling was as prevalent as it is today. Whether it's Vegas casinos, online gambling sites like Stake, or prediction and sports betting markets like Kalshi, Polymarket, and DraftKings, gambling is rampant and ruining the lives of thousands of people around the globe. With stagnant jobs that never pay enough to keep up with the never-ending increase in housing costs and the general cost of living, it's understandable why so many people resort to gambling. It can feel like the only way to get out of a dire financial situation, but all it does is make things worse. When people are desperate, they'll do close to anything for money, and even though the odds are stacked against them, they'll bet their life savings away with the delusional belief that they'll be among the lucky 1% who make money rather than lose it. It's tragic that the economy and the general state of modern society have pushed people to engage in such reckless and life-ruining behaviors. Gambling has the highest self-termination rate of any addiction out there, and while that's horrifying, it's also understandable. It can feel impossible to recover and move forward in life after losing thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars to gambling. Spending all that time working and sacrificing your life for those hard-earned dollars just to lose it all to gambling is devastating. It can feel impossible to move forward. But please, if you or someone you know suffers from a gambling addiction, seek help. Gambling is one of the greatest evils of modern society. The people behind these gambling sites prey on desperate individuals for financial gain and ruin lives in the process. I genuinely don't understand how they can live with themselves without feeling sick to their stomach 24/7. I couldn't live with myself if this is how I made my money. What's even more tragic is the fact that kids as young as 12 years old are sports betting under their parents' names. These kids are getting addicted to gambling before they even reach puberty, which is beyond diabolical. There's no word capable of describing the travesty of the gambling epidemic of the last several years. One look at Bossman Jack is a prime example of what happens when gambling addiction goes unchecked and takes over a person's life. He's constantly chasing his losses, and in the process, he's losing more and more money while further ruining his life. Stake is where Bossman Jack spends a significant chunk of his time, and it's destroying his life as well as the lives of thousands of others, while the owners get wealthier than ever. There are tons of other sites like Stake that are causing just as much damage. One of those sites that has risen in popularity recently is Kalshi. Kalshi is different from traditional gambling sites because you place bets on the outcome of real-world events rather than betting against a house or a set of generated code like the games on Stake. However, no matter how you spin it, at the end of the day, it's still gambling. In an effort to better understand gambling and the negative implications of participating in it, I made the unwise decision to download Kalshi and try my hand at it. I deposited $100 into my account and put it on the Chargers vs. Patriots NFL game, which took place on January 11th, 2026. I bet on the Patriots and pretty easily walked away with a $38 profit, bringing my total to $138. This felt good and gave me a false sense of confidence. I then took that $138 and bet it on the Paul Badosa vs. Mary Boskova tennis match, where I proceeded to lose all of it. I bet on Badosa, and at the time I entered, she had a 92% win rate. It felt like an easy win. That is until Boskova made a crazy comeback at the end and completely flipped the trajectory of the match. I lost every last penny. Even though I went into this experiment expecting to lose money, a part of me was still in disbelief that it actually happened. Then, like a total degenerate, I deposited another $10 into my account and bet on another tennis match thinking I'd have better luck. I lost that one as well. At this point, my total loss was $110. Again, even though I expected to lose money, it still hurt, and even worse, I caught myself trying to make back my losses. Thankfully, I snapped out of it and stopped myself at that $110 loss. I had the self-control to stop myself. However, when people are desperate, that desperation overrides any self-control and causes them to do even more harm to themselves. I went into this from a place of curiosity and experimentation rather than desperation, and despite that, I still found myself trying to chase my losses. I haven't put another penny in since, and I've deleted my account. This is something I will never do again. It gave me a valuable first-hand experience with the consequences of gambling that people often don't like to acknowledge. While it hurts to have lost that $110, that was also the point of the experiment. In that sense, I successfully achieved my goal of gaining a better understanding of gambling. Now that I've tried it myself, I fully understand why gambling is so addictive and how destructive it is to people's lives. I had self-control, which a lot of people don't. It starts with a $110 loss, then that turns into $220, then $440, then $880, and so on. Before you know it, you're down $10,000 and stuck in an endless cycle of putting more money in to reclaim losses, only to lose even more in the process. It's incredibly easy to get hooked. It feels like these sites are designed so that you win your first bet and experience that high of profiting. Then you place another bet and lose everything, and then from there, it becomes an endless cycle of chasing losses. It's beyond tragic. Thankfully, the $110 I lost on Kalshi wasn't a life-changing amount of money for me. I have over $30,000 invested in the stock market between the S&P 500 and Nvidia, which puts me in a very fortunate position. One average day in the stock market can more than cover the $110 I lost on Kalshi. That said, losing $110 still hurts. That's a month of gas money that I essentially flushed down the toilet. While I'm fortunate enough that $110 isn't the difference between affording my expenses or not, it doesn't change the fact that the money could have been used for something far more meaningful than gambling it away on Kalshi. Needless to say, I hate gambling, and you should hate gambling too. And I will never, ever gamble another dollar in my life. There's no such thing as getting rich quick, and any attempt to do so will almost always cause more harm than good. The simple and proven path to wealth is investing consistently in an S&P 500 mutual fund. After 30 years, you'll likely find yourself in a very strong financial position. The problem is that desperate people can't wait 30 years, which is why they resort to gambling. As mentioned earlier, I currently have $30,000 invested in the stock market, $25,000 in the S&P 500, and $5,000 in Nvidia. With an average annual return of 10% and without contributing another penny, that $25,000 in the S&P 500 alone could be worth close to $440,000 after 30 years. If Nvidia performs well over that same period, my total value could approach $500,000. If I were to spend the next 30 years gambling instead of investing, I'd be left with nothing but regret. Please don't gamble. Thanks for watching, and have a good day.